Oh my goodness, it is another episode. It's another episode of the Eurovision for Real podcast, an exclusive episode on the Eurovision for Real podcast. And of course, like I have to kick everything off, we got to get into the theme song.
Eurovision for Real with Alesia Michelle.
Well, today it's not just with Alesia Michelle. I am joined by Lilli from Eurovision fam. I love having you on and getting to talk about Eurovision with you.
I love having you have me on.
Well, so what we're going to be talking about today, because I've done some content on like winner potential, but the reality of it is the odds are really short this year. Like, this is legitimately feeling, I mean, like, I think some people are like, we always want it to feel like the year is wide open. We've been having sort of these predictable years lately at Eurovision. So we've been hungry for this. And
Yes.
this year might actually be it because, okay, so if we're looking at the odds right now, Croatia has a 15% chance of winning. Ukraine's at 13%. Italy is at 9%. And then you've got Switzerland at 8%. But I mean, the Netherlands is in there. Belgium is in the mix. I mean, people are talking about Sweden. And I mean, the song that we thought no one would still be talking about, France, is still even in the mix. And I will just say, also, too, I see like Greece starting to pick up some
Yes.
momentum, which
know, I'm
I'm
so
happy to see. Yeah, I'm like happy to see. So it's like, I have to say, first question for you. Do you feel like this year really is wide open?
100%. Because those names you listed, I can see it being any of those. But there's also other names I feel like are in the mix for who could potentially be winning this because
Well,
it is
well, let's
wide
shout
open.
out. Let's shout out some of them because, like, I remember people like there's some folks who still think Lithuania could get it done.
Yeah, I can see Lithuania doing it.
Yeah, there's some hope around Austria too. There is a lot of people talking about Norway as well.
Yes.
Norway having an opportunity. I mean, we really are talking about a lot of songs. Now, I will also say I think that this is a symptom of us having a strong year. I do think that this is a strong year. And I am really beginning to flirt with this being stronger than 2016 and 2021. Quality wise. I'm beginning to flirt with it. I haven't put the hammer down, but I'm
Mhm.
flirting with it. What do you think? Where are you at?
I think it's one of the strongest years since I've been following Eurovision. Simply because I'm struggling to find a last place. Like, I'm struggling to find a song that I'm like, this is last for me. Mostly at this point, it's just gonna come down to taste, like my personal taste, because I just feel like everyone is so strong. And like, I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to Armenia yet, but
I
that
have
one is
not. I'm
you
listening to Armenia literally after the recording of this. I'm going to be
uh
reacting to Armenia because I will just say when I saw the picture of them, they were giving me, hey, hey, hi, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh."
okay.
And I love that song. Like, I'm not saying
Same.
that it'll sound like that, but just the energy of like, we're happy to be here. We're having fun. We want to represent our culture. That's like what I'm thinking I'm going to get. I don't know. But that's like what I'm
Yes.
thinking I might be getting vibe
I don't want to
wise.
spoil it for you, but it's a good one. It's a bop.
Okay, okay, I'm excited. Well, now I have to ask this. Are you okay with this being a wide open year? Because I'm going to be real with you. I have been wanting an unpredictable Eurovision. I have. And now that I'm having it, I'm like all in knots. I'm just like, okay, wait, hold no, whoa, whoa, hold on, hold on.
Yeah. I am very okay with a wide open year. I feel like since I've really been hardcore into the Eurovision fandom, I haven't had a chance for a wide open year. I want to say like the year I went in really hardcore was 2017. And I went into 2017 expecting my favorite song of the year to not qualify, and it ended up winning. Um 2016 I was kind of in the same boat where I was just like 2016 I specifically remember I did not follow any national finals. I just listened to all the songs in March, picked my favorite song after like a marathon going through every single song. And then when I chose my favorite song, I was so excited that it actually ended up winning. I was like a little nervous for it. just simply because up to then I would listen to only like the shows. Like maybe in April I would listen to the songs and only really watch the shows. And between starting doing that in 2010 and getting more hardcore into everything in 2017, usually songs I really liked didn't qualify. So I do like having a wide open year because I don't want it to feel like it's scripted. I know I'm not saying like, the years where it's really like everyone's like, oh, this is gonna win are scripted. I'm just saying that like those years where everyone's like, oh, this is gonna win and it wins are really boring for me. Like I want something unexpected and like that's more fun for me in the end.
Okay, I like it. I like this. It's feeling very this is giving PR though, Lily. I don't know, your side career needs to
My
be
side career.
But no, I feel like with this year, because this is the thing, I felt like last year everyone was trying to make it seem like it was wide open, and I was like, this is a solid two-horse race with maybe like two spoilers in the,
Yeah.
two potential spoilers. And I, went on record to kind of say that this year I really do feel like it's wide open, but I do feel like there are some distinct advantages and disadvantages. Here's the thing. Italy's song, I think, is just radio friendly. It's modern. I think Italy doesn't have to do a lot on the stage to make it, impactful. But I will also say the thing with Italy that always makes me nervous is just how they bring it to life. And I don't know if I feel 100% confident that it'll be either, what should I say, enough to make it win. And I do think that this is a song that running order could hurt it. Now, yes, I know some people are like, oh, well, everyone can vote at the beginning now, like at the beginning of the show. But I still think like, even though you can do something, doesn't mean that people will do something. And I don't know if it's like, oh, people just, because I think the thing that makes Italy stand out is when you listen to the whole pack, there's something about it that is still solidly competent and modern and just like expensive sounding. But I don't know. Like, I'm just, I like, I'm like, I think you hear that when you kind of listen to all of them. But I think if you hear it early on, you're just going to be like, oh, it's just a girl on stage kind of singing. And mind you, we're going to have a lot of that this year.
Yeah.
What do you think? I don't know.
My main thing with Italy is that Italy tends to bring something like a clean, modern package with a radio-friendly song. It's kind of what they do really well. But it's like a radio-friendly song with a little bite and a little edge to it that's kind of a little unexpected at the same time.
Like there's a wink, there's humor, there's like a little like humor in it. Yeah. I mean, it's a good song.
Yeah, it has all of those elements in it. The thing that holds me back from thinking, oh, Italy's going to win, the main reason why is because Italy's been doing this since what? 2000, I'm going to say like 2012. I'm not going to necessarily go with 2011 because that was a little bit of a weird choice for them. I mean, a weird choice like in their overall what they've been doing since they came back.
Right.
And it took how long for them to win?
Right.
And prior to that, that was what 30 years after they had won previously. I feel like it's not Italy's time to win again yet. And that's my main reason why I'm holding back from saying Italy is going to win. I can see it happening. Like it's not out of the realm of possibility. But my main reason for going, I don't think it's going to be Italy, is just solely the fact that, Italy does this so well and they usually come top 10 and this will probably come top 10. But I can't see it being the winner.
Yeah, see, I think that's the bucket I'm in. I just feel like Europe does do taking turns sort of things a little bit. And some people will say to that, like, oh, but Loreen won again. I'll be real with you. I think us in the bubble, we have been saying, if Loreen comes back, she's going to win. I just think, and there was the promise potentially of 2017 where everyone was like, oh, this could win. And I mean, let's be real. She's been coming out with singles a lot that have all been those 3-minute mark. And every time for those of us in the bubble, we're like, yeah, this could have won Eurovision again. So I
Yeah.
think with her, she is the anomaly of that, but it wasn't that crazy because it was like, well, we said if she'd come back, she'd win again. And she did it. Um, but I do wonder about, like, because if we're thinking of taking turns, let's maybe throw Switzerland out there because
Okay.
Switzerland definitely climbed its way up. It's number 4 right now, in the betting odds currently. Switzerland, my pocketbook wouldn't want them to win, but it's been so long since they've won. They really have been giving us quality, and I don't think anyone can knock that. And so, yeah, what do you think of Switzerland? Do you think that this could be Switzerland's turn if we're thinking about the pendulum at all?
Yes, I can definitely see Switzerland taking it. In this situation, the song is just such high quality. The performance that we're getting, like, I will the performance we potentially will be getting will be, I think, big. I feel like Switzerland's not going to skimp on the budget when it comes to staging because they haven't been skimping on the budget. The last 2 songs they've sent, I could leave them. Okay, they could go, stay on the shelf, but at least they had good staging, and their staging I felt really elevated the entries. We've got a good song from Switzerland again, like we did from them with Jean's Tears. And not only are we getting a good song, but I feel like we're going to get a real good visual at the same time. And that marriage of those two can provide Switzerland with a win again. Because I think it's been what? I wasn't alive yet when Switzerland last won. It's been a while.
Well, it was 1988.
Oh yeah, I
I
definitely
think.
wasn't alive.
I think it was like 1988, late 80s. Yeah, I think I'm living in a world where it could be possible. Now, let me tell you, I did do like a Spotify question because that's one thing. If you broadcast your podcast and you distribute on Spotify, it gives you the opportunity to have like people do like answer questions. So I asked folks, and this was like 2 months ago. I was like, who do you think could win Eurovision soon? And so one of the countries that was mentioned, so Marco said Lithuania and Armenia. Now, I haven't heard Armenia's song yet. Do you think Armenia could win this year?
My main reason for holding back on saying yes, they could win the whole thing, is that it's a song that I feel juries wouldn't like as much. Now I can see Armenia taking the
Okay.
televote
Oh,
easily.
okay.
I can see Armenia taking the televote, and the main reason behind that is because it sounds um like when I read up on the band and the synopsis of them. Not only are they inspired by Armenian folk music, but they also get inspiration from world music in general, and they cited
Okay.
Balkan folk music as well. Um,
Ooh.
and it has like there's a good bit of trumpet in it that has that kind of like what you would hear like when I hear that sound of trumpet, it makes me think of Moldova a little bit
Okay.
and what Moldova does well. And Moldova loves it, like the televote loves Moldova. Just sonically what they do and the way they present things on stage. I can see Armenia getting good points from the televote based off of like just how well Moldova does with a similar kind of vibe.
Okay. But now, Marco also mentioned Lithuania. Do you think Lithuania could win Eurovision this year?
Yes. I think it's
Okay.
still in the card. It's still a chance from Lithuania. I am still a little bitter about last year because I think if they would have chosen what came second at their national final, we could have had them in the mix last year too. But
Okay.
this year, Luke Talk is just really sleek. It's really well polished. It's like I think they're gonna probably revamp the staging a little bit. My main worry when it comes to Luke Telk is going to be running water if it gets to the final. I feel like it's going to get to
Okay.
the final strongly, but the color scheme is very similar to what Switzerland is giving. So I kind of am a little worried about like the visual, the way that the two look quite similar to one another. Now we know where
Okay.
Switzerland's at in the running order, or not Switzerland. I'm sorry, Sweden. Why did I say
Sweden.
Switzerland?
Yeah.
I apologize. Sweden. The color scheme is very close to what Sweden has. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
with the reds and the dark blue.
Yeah.
Um, so we know Sweden is number one in the running order at this point. So I think that's gonna help boost Lithuania just because it's
Okay.
gonna probably stick out a little better kind of in the background of things. Like it's gonna helping people's minds stand out more. But I think like as a song itself, it's radio friendly. It's
Mm-hmm.
like dancey. It's not too high in the BPM, so it's not like it's too much. And I
Okay.
just think it's like a sleek package. I think this is Lithuania's probably best chance that they've actually had.
Yeah, I mean, I go back to like really what my first reaction to when I saw the whole piece and I was like, this is objectively good, slick. You know, it's doing sort of a little bit of that Swedish pop perfection without it
Mm-hmm.
feeling trite or manufactured.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really think Lithuania is doing something special this year. Okay, I also had Stefan comment, and mind you, yeah, not even 2 months ago, this was like 3 months ago, said the UK, Finland, and Spain have been consistently. So the comment is from Stefan: the UK, Lithuania, Finland, and Spain have been consistently trying and improving over the past few years. I would say one of them will win soon. Now, we talked about Lithuania. We haven't talked about Finland, Spain, or the UK. Let's kick off with the UK. I'm going to be real with you. I actually really like Dizzy. I think it's good. I don't think the UK is working with the momentum this year to get it done for a win. I wouldn't be mad at it because I actually think the song is I really like Dizzy,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think the UK is going to win this year. But what do you think?
I'm in the same exact boat as you with that. I really
Okay.
am. I like the song. I have been listening to the song on the playlist. Like it's on
Yeah.
my main playlist at
Yeah,
this
it's a
point.
solid studio cut. It's good.
But I just don't think it has the je ne sais quoi to make it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's just there's just something missing that I can't put my finger on that makes me want to go, okay, this has potential.
I think it's punch. And I think that that's one of the things that Switzerland has this year. And even Lithuania in a very chilled out way. There's something about it that has like a punch in
Mm-hmm.
the track. And I think almost one of the things that's working to the UK's maybe disadvantage for a Eurovision application is just, I think there's an ease of this. I think there's something about it. It's slick, it's polished, it's easy. When it comes up on the playlist, you might not even know that you like went to something else and you're because you're just in the groove. And I think at Eurovision, you sometimes need a little bit of a punch so then people know we have switched. We have changed
Mm-hmm.
songs. The stage is different. And maybe it's that. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that could be it. But like we're using the same kind of words we use to describe Lithuania a little bit when it comes to talking about, the UK's entry this year.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's just something where maybe it could come in the visual aid to kind of help
Yeah.
and elevate. But
Yeah.
like we don't know what we're getting with staging at all from the UK.
Correct.
We won't know until we're on the ground, and we're just kind of like lost for how this could go because I mean, even when the UK was in their doldrums, I thought they had some okay songs. But then
Yeah.
once we got the staging, it was like, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
what is this? So I'd have to wait and see with that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're probably right. I just think the UK, we're still in a good space of momentum where people are giving them some credit, which I think is really smart. Um, but I am just let's transition to Finland. I think it's a hard no. Finland is
Mhm.
not winning this year. No rules is not going to be it. They had some I don't think that they will be tripping this year. I know that there are some people in the fandom, I think because their heart is still broken for Paskana and Sara Siipola. I think their heart's still broken for that they're hoping that like Finland won't advance. I mean, you and I were in a Twitter Spaces conversation, and it's like,
Mhm.
y'all, Finland is gonna qualify though.
I feel like Finland this year is gonna be like Finland in 2009 with Waldo's people.
Oh, okay.
Where the max I can see Finland really going is a kind of a similar result to what Finland got in
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna qualify, but that's about it.
Yeah. And then Spain, I do think Spain wants to win Eurovision. This year it's not going to happen, but I do think Spain has the opportunity to do better than what people think that they're going to do.
Yeah, like when it came to listening to the songs for Benidorm Fest, there were only two songs I really liked this year. when I like kind of went through and listened to the full playlist and that have
Mhm.
stayed on my playlist. This is one of them. This song was the first one. I think it was like probably like one of the last songs I listened to, and I was kind of feeling disappointed. And then I got to Thora and I was like, oh, this is good. This is great. It's got
Yeah.
like that disco vibe. And I love myself, a woman of a certain age, kind of
Yes.
putting on a
Come on now.
performance. And like, this is a vibe. Like, this is just so good. And I think that a lot of people will pick up and vote for this. Just simply because it has kind of like the retro synthy throwback vibes. People
Yeah.
like that. There's a reason why
And the
80s
staging is
retro,
bold. The
the
staging is
staging.
bold.
I don't know if they're gonna keep
Yeah.
it. Are they
I think they're
keeping
going to
the
keep it.
Okay, well, let's keep it,
Yeah, I think they're going to keep it.
Sun's out, buns out, let's go.
Come on now, but I prefer it with a Capizio fishnet elastic tight.
Okay.
Just I
Like a
would
dance
prefer it.
tight with like a fishnet over top.
Well, no. It's like so I mean, y'all know in my former life I performed. So the showgirl tights. The
Okay.
showgirl tights they're like fishnets, but they have like a little bit of elastic on it and they're flesh colored.
Ooh, maybe a little
Like
sparkle.
Chanel wore
Yeah.
those. They're really like we call them like showgirl tights because they're not like netted tights. Netted regular hosiery tights are like what Aveda Makuchian was wearing in 2016. And I remember doing a whole video where I was just like, them tights should not have been on the stage. We needed showgirl tights. We did not need full, like, colored
Yeah.
tights. No, I'm not talking about hosiery. I'm talking showgirl tights is
Okay, I know what
all.
you're talking about now.
Chanel had the showgirl tights on.
Okay.
We leave it at that. Okay, but also I had someone okay commented, I think the 20s have been rewarding the reliable powerhouses till now. So my bet is that the next one is Norway. And then Amr commented Norway wants to win. Now there are a lot of people who are really having the candle lit for Norway. For me, I'm burnt. Like I'm burnt off of the fandom fandom and juries, and I don't know if I trust everyone to reward this song. But I don't know, Lilli. What do you think? Maybe you'll make me feel better. Please.
My candle is still lit for Norway. I think that it could do this. Um,
Okay.
it sounds modern but haunting at the same time.
Mm,
It stays with you on first listen.
it
It
does.
also has cultural significance. And I feel like having that little bit of like a folky touch, the televote gets behind it, you know. I can see the jury's also kind of getting behind this more than with maybe some of the other folky songs because it's not as in your face folk. It's like mostly our traditional element is coming from the vocals more than the instrumentation.
That's true.
Um,
That's true.
and because of that, I feel like it might be a little more accessible for juries to go, okay, yeah, this could take it. Um, but yeah, I do have my candle lit for Norway still. I think they could still do it. And
I wouldn't be mad at it honestly because I have been wanting like to see it for Norway because I'm like I think that they would put on a great show.
mhm,
Like I really think that there's a whole bunch of talent in Norway. And so that's why I really was a advocate for let's leave the theme park, y'all, and get back to
yes,
the music a little bit because I really was like I don't want Norway to get too pigeonholed, and I absolutely think this year they have done the shakeup that they needed to do, and I love this. It's one of my favorite songs this year. Like
yeah,
to me, I don't like. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think I'm gonna do a top 10 this year, like just straight up, mostly because I'm like stuck on a solid, and I haven't listened to Armenia yet. I haven't listened to all the songs yet. So I'm taking my time. I'm gonna get into them. But I really feel like I would be stuck at like an 18 amount of like 18 songs. And I don't think I could make the picks. But I will say Norway, I'm like, I know has to be in my top 10. Like, I know it's on the other side. Like, point blank, I
yeah,
listened to it. We've also had the song for a long time. I have not gotten sick of it. That is one benefit I will say with coming out early is, you almost set people up for a test. And that song, I don't skip it.
mhm,
Because sometimes I'll like skip a song that I like because I'm like, oh, well, there's a new song in the mix. So I just want to get to that one. I cannot bring myself to skip this one. I listen to it all the way through every single time it comes up.
I listened to it all the way through, and on my playlist, I have the 6-minute version of it. I don't have the Eurovision cut on my playlist.
See, this would be a problem for me.
Mhm.
But I'm feeling it. Okay. Next up, I had a comment from Loreen, not to be confused with Loreen, but Loreen said, I give you 5 countries: Serbia, Australia, Greece, Portugal, and Finland. Let's kick it off and talk about Serbia because I am telling you, Ramonda for me is like a huge grower for me. I have now had days where the song's stuck in my head. Like, I have had moments where I'm just like, ooh. Now, being a grower sometimes does not work at Eurovision. We know that. We know that. But even when I first heard it, I was like, I might not love it, but there is something here. And I think if my first impression was the live performance and the song, because, my first impression was just listening to like about a 50-second snippet or so
Yeah.
of it. But I mean, if like, it wasn't like I didn't like it in the 50-second snippet. And then once seeing it live, now for me, I didn't even know if this would like firmly be in my faves. And it is firmly in my faves for this year. I'm loving the song. I don't think Serbia will win. But in a year that's wide open with not a lot of ballads, I don't know, Lily. What do you think?
There is definitely potential for Serbia to take it, just solely because, like you said, it's a year that's kind of wide open and there's not a lot of ballads.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what's another year that was wide open without a lot of ballads? And a ballad one, 2011
Yeah,
was kind of a wide open
scared.
year,
Yeah.
and then that song came out of nowhere, and everyone's like, okay, to take it.
Right.
I that's like just looking at history wise, and that was also a year where the voting was open from the beginning of the show. I think
Oh.
I'm pretty yeah, if I remember right, at the beginning of the show, they were like, you guys can vote starting now. So there is a potential for Serbia, historically speaking. If I'm basing it just solely off of like a gut feeling and looking at it, I don't think it's Serbia's turn.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be mad if it did win because I feel like if we go back to the Balkans, it's gonna
Yeah.
open us up for a good time and getting
Yeah,
more
we're
Balkan
still getting
countries
our Balkan
active.
win. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you're there. Okay, the other country that they mentioned, Australia. Now, I will tell you, I am pleased because I feel like the fandom was really too quick to judge the song and now everyone's loving it. I do think Australia is occupying our message song, anthemic message song
Mhm.
category really, really well in a non trite way, which can be difficult sometimes when you're talking about songs that are like, we are one blood, come
Yeah.
together, people. It can elicit eye rolls from folks. This is not doing that. I don't think Australia is winning this year, but I'm just glad to see that the fandom, the first impression, and I think some of it maybe was the music video or just the fact that it wasn't 2000 and whatever. But
Mhm.
I think this is a really good song.
It's great. It has that kind
Yeah.
of throwbacky vibe, like I mentioned before, kind of a little bit like it's giving kind of late 80s, early 90s dance music,
Yeah.
which if I'm going to take a message song, give me it in that form, please. Like that kind of like
Hmm.
that vibe and with that kind of vocal because Zachariah
Come on
voice
now. Come on
voice
now.
and like
Vocal for
that
days.
80s, that late 80s, early 90s dance music, what made it great? Voice.
Yeah.
And like I'm getting that vibe off of this, and it's something that people are gonna be nostalgic for. Not
Yeah.
I don't know, like the youth might not be nostalgic for it, but the older people, yes, and the people who are kind of like not quite old yet, I can definitely see, picking up the phone and wanting to give it some love. Um, I don't think Australia is winning, but I don't think they're gonna do poorly.
And I mean, are you thinking it qualifies? I do think even in
Yeah.
that semi, I think it's qualifying.
I do think it's qualifying. Like I said,
Also,
it's
too,
gonna
I think
have
they're gonna have them close the show now. At first I was thinking Luxembourg, but now I'm actually thinking they might let them close the show. One
okay.
milk a
Well, I mean, the only reason I can see Luxembourg closing still is like using
I'm
that as
not
like a
saying I
narrative
don't.
device.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not
Yeah.
saying I don't see it happening at all. I just think that Australia is now in the mix. I wasn't thinking that with whatever Australia was going to do, that they would close. And they
Yeah.
closed the semi last year. Or did
Yeah.
they close the show?
They closed the semi, I
They
think.
closed the semi.
Yeah. And they
Who closed the show last? Oh, it was Mae Muller. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, I wrote a song. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But no, they closed the semi. Yeah, so they won't give it to Australia again. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So Luxembourg is still in there.
Oh yeah, because I can already hear it
Yeah.
going like, oh, we've waited this long for them to come back. Here they are at last, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then Lorene did throw out Greece, and we didn't talk a whole lot about Greece. We did touch on Greece at the beginning. Y'all know I would love to see it. I would love to see it. When I'm ta ta
I'm dancing
ta
over
ta
here.
ta.
In my head.
Marina,
Mhm.
girl,
Mhm.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
100%.
And I had high expectations for Greece, and they fully delivered. Fully delivered for me.
Love it. I'm having trouble saying things, so I think it's so good. Like it's
It
doing everything I
is, and it's
wanted.
modern. It's everything that I thought it could be. It is, and I'm loving that it's Greek. I'm loving that it feels modern. There's urban elements to it, but then there's also the nice fusion of it. Again, this is the stuff that a lot of us come to Eurovision for. We don't want to just hear well-produced pop songs in
Yes.
English.
Yeah.
What are we here for? That's not what I'm here for.
I'm here for
I'm
native
here for
language,
Come on.
and I'm here for traditional influences
Come
on
on.
top of my pop banger. Like I want it all
Yes.
in one. And Marina, she's giving me all in one. Like Miss Sati,
Delivering.
and it sounds like something she would put out anyway.
Yes.
And that for me is so important because
Yeah.
even if you don't win, I think Greece totally could still win this. I think even if you don't win, you want to make sure your song sounds like your other stuff. So when we go through your back catalog, we're not going to be disappointed.
Completely agree. Now, I also want to touch on, because we talked about sort of the Serbia of it all, ballad, maybe standing out. Can we talk about Portugal? Because Lorene did note Portugal having some momentum. And I think I said, I was like, Portugal's that country that if everyone's kind of all over the place, fumbling the bag, Portugal could be a nice palate cleanser.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's gonna win. I love Grito. Don't get me wrong at all. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous song. And I think that it does what at this point we expect Portugal to do, which is to draw us in with something gorgeous, like something just beautiful, and like let us sit with it for 3 minutes. And I think what you call it, they do quiet loud. And the song is still in that same kind of quiet loud vein. Like this is like what people I think at this point have come to expect from Portugal when it comes to Eurovision. So it's not going to disappoint Eurovision fans who, look out for what Portugal's doing. I just don't think that it has the tailwind to take it up to the top.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. I think Portugal's going to do well. I mean, now, are you thinking Portugal is going to qualify?
My biggest worry for Portugal is qualification more than anything.
Okay.
Just historically speaking, qualification's a bit of a struggle for them.
That's right.
And we're not 100% televote.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll see. Well, that was what some people commented. Now, I got a question for you. I got a question for you because I had a poll and I asked folks, what ingredients do you think are most important to securing a Eurovision win? Now, the options were powerful vocal perfection, innovative stage show, impactful song plus lyrics, momentum and narrative, or politics. Now, of those 5 options, what do you think won? We had powerful vocal perfection, innovative stage show, impactful song and lyrics, momentum and narrative, and politics. What do you think won?
I'm gonna go with impactful.
Okay, impactful song in lyrics won with 31.8% of the votes.
Okay.
Tied basically for second place was innovative stage show and momentum and narrative. Then we had powerful vocal perfection in third, technically, and then fourth, politics.
That seems right. That feels right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I actually think momentum and narrative plays more of a role than what we'd like to admit. I mean, yes, obviously you have to have like a decent song with like, I think lyrics with some depth. But if you don't have the momentum and a good narrative, you're never going to reach the upper echelons. Because especially now, we're talking about a year like this, we've got lots of songs that have impactful lyrics and melody and whatnot. But I think we're talking about, when we think of winners, we're talking about the countries that have a little bit of momentum and narrative. Let's start from the top with Croatia. Croatia has momentum because technically they've never won before. Croatia is also a country that has struggled in recent years at the Eurovision Song Contest, and people want to see it for them. You know, everyone loves an underdog to a certain degree. And the fact that we could go from like powerhouse Sweden winning, you know, this reliable sort of modern Eurovision country, to go to a country that hasn't won, that has, you know, their qualification record isn't perfect, I think bodes well for them. Second up, Ukraine, impactful song, lyrics, but there's momentum. Ukraine knows how to do Eurovision well. The narrative is still there, you know, for Ukraine. So, you know, and I think even what we're talking about with Italy, impactful song and lyrics, but the reason why we're sort of apprehensive if it's going to win Eurovision is because we don't know if the momentum and narrative is there, because they did just win.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. What are you thinking?
I mean, I would agree with you with the momentum and narrative thing being there. And I want to kind of go back and touch on Croatia, for example, because that's like kind of, I think they're first with the betting odds right now. That has, again, momentum and narrative from the perspective of Croatia doesn't really do well at Eurovision. And I can see it being picked up by the mainstream media when they start to report on everything the week of Eurovision, that, you know, with Baby Lasagna, he wasn't even supposed to be in Dora. He was kind of a backup choice, you know? And I think this is one of his first singles he's released as a solo artist. And I can definitely see that helping him in the narrative of everything. With Ukraine, same, well, not same thing, but like with Ukraine, speaking of momentum and narrative, song-wise, we can look at this and go, you know, we all know the situation, you know, basically that Ukraine's still going through, but it has a song that is impactful, and you get a good narrative from that as well. I mean, I can see when writing an article, kind of basing it off the top two right now in the betting odds, going between someone who's very, like, going between a country that's very much an underdog, sending a bit of an ingenue to the contest. Whereas with Ukraine, we have, you know, a reliable powerhouse at this point, sending a major star in the country to the contest.
Right.
I don't know how many Eurovision fans know this, but the main draw in that Jerry Heil and Alona, you know, pairing is Alona. Like,
Right.
she's huge in Ukraine.
Right. I mean, I do think like there is a play too. We've talked about this too, where star power can be a thing, you know, if someone is like burning up the charts. And so with Alona, I think there's that at play. Another country that we hadn't talked about yet, the Netherlands. Joost, big name star. The song is basically certified viral in the Netherlands at this point. You know, do we think the Netherlands could get it done again? Because I'll be real with you. I'm living in a world right now where that song is so sticky. The fact that, you know, Joost didn't just go full gabber, I think actually works to his advantage. Like, it still sounds like something he would make, but it is maybe slightly more accessible for people who aren't familiar with the stuff that he normally makes. And it's playing on this, like, you know, Europop. And impactful lyrics. There's a narrative here. Now, I have been living in the camp that I'm like, I think Europe will make the Netherlands wait maybe even a little bit longer than what they should have to wait, just given, the corona of it all. And the fact that, in theory, some people are like, they basically had 2 years, of kind of the spotlight of Eurovision a little bit. So I don't know. Yeah. What do you think? Could the Netherlands get it done?
I don't think so. I just don't think it's going to be happening for them at this point. I don't know if it's because like when I hear this song, it just sounds too stereotypically European to me. You know what I mean? Like it has that kind of like dancey DDR-esque vibe to it. And I mean Dance Dance Revolution. I should abbreviate that one sometimes. But yeah, like it's giving me that kind of feeling to it. And I do think it's just been too soon for the Netherlands to win again. It just feels too soon.
It feels too soon to me, especially for like the 2 years of it all. But I'm gonna be real. I can do the math. I can do the math where it could happen because the thing is, juries do tend to get a little starstruck sometimes, and Joost is known. Joost is a current, relevant artist now, and a few countries in Europe. It's not just the Netherlands, it's Austria, it's Belgium. Even apparently there are some Germans really latching on to the song this year. So
well, he had a huge hit in Germany last year. Like I think he went like #1 on the German charts last summer.
Yeah, okay.
And same in Switzerland. Like he was really high up there for Switzerland.
That's right. I forgot about Switzerland. Yep.
So like with the German speaking like the German speaking countries, I know he's a known entity for them, along with the Dutch speaking countries are Flemish speaking as well because of Belgium. He's kind of like a known entity within that language sphere. And I can see that as well. But my main thing is just I feel like it's a little too soon. But I would not be angry if we got Look Labs back because I felt like that was a great kind of like little segment on YouTube. And I could take that back and be happy to have another Dutch win. But there's something holding me back from going all in on the Netherlands.
Okay. Well, let's be a little bit messy. Because this is the Eurovision for Real podcast for real. All right. So we keep it real over here in this space. And so what I want to ask is, what country do you feel like everyone's talking about could possibly win? And you're like, or that you're maybe seeing on the interwebs that you're like, wait, why, how?
I kind of feel like it's the Netherlands, to be completely honest.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just like the fact that it's just not my taste at all. But when I just like when I hear the song, like, how are people thinking this is winning? Also, Belgium, I don't understand why people are obsessing with it.
Okay.
I'm like, it doesn't feel like anything happened.
But do you think people still think that it's because I felt like in the beginning I could understand why some people were saying Belgium could win, but I don't feel like that lasted very long because then we got Switzerland. To me, then we got the Netherlands. Then Italy was just remaining, was just kind of holding strong. Oh, and then we got the UK kind of, so then it was like, okay, that could cut in. Here's my one that I think I'm sort of living in the space of like, honestly, Sweden. I think that there are still some folks that are really, really thinking that Sweden is going to do the double. They don't see the disadvantage of Sweden opening the show. And I'm living in a world where I'm like, y'all know I will defend Sweden like when I need to defend them, because I do think that they get some unfair hate when it's like the people are giving us well-produced pop tracks and this is their thing. Like, this is their thing. Like, if I'm not getting no bum notes on the stage or anything like that, like, I can't see, the desire to just poke at it for the sake of like kind of poking at the big dog, if that makes any sense. However, I do not see Sweden. I don't even know if I want to say coming near winning, because like I could see top five. I could really see top five.
Mhm.
but I do not see them winning at all. At all. Not this year.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. It's too strong of a year. And
It is.
I'll defend Sweden's song this year. I like it. It's not for my age group, but like when I hear it, I see the appeal of it.
Okay.
I hear the appeal. I hear the appeal of it, and I also see the appeal because I think
Yes.
staging wise, it's really
No,
well
no, no.
staged.
So where I'm living, I completely see the appeal. So let me be clear there. I completely see the appeal. Sonically, I could in studio with a different singer.
Mm.
I feel like if this was Danny Saucedo giving me this exact package, I think I'd feel differently. There's something about it that just because of their age, it feels too youthful for me in a consumption realm, I think. And I prefer Danny Saucedo's vocal tone. Their vocal tone is just, it's like, here's a good example. When NSYNC and Backstreet were around, I was not a Justin or a Nick girl. In Backstreet, I was a heavy AJ girl. And then with NSYNC, heavy on the JC.
Okay.
You know, so to me, that Nick Carter, Justin Timberlake, it's too nasal, it's too young for me sonically. I've always liked a thick, rich vocal. It's my bias. And Danny Saucedo's vocal isn't even that thick, but I will say that's also a reason why Eric Saad sometimes loses me.
Yeah.
Because his vocal tone, I don't always love. I could deal with it on the minute, the one that he did
Yeah.
you know, with his comeback at Melfest, like I could deal with it there.
Oh.
But even then, I was sort of like, we couldn't call up Danny for this one? Truly, I prefer Danny Saucedo's vocal tone is a little bit more in the realm of palpable for me, personally.
Danny just to have better songs sometimes when he comes back to Melfest.
He does exactly. Dondi Danza, we should have just stayed up right there.
Yes, we should have, because I would have been like, let's just send him. Let's go.
Yo sé
I was ready to send Danny
danzar,
Danza too.
mi para mira.
Yeah, no. Or we could have even given him this. I think now you're giving me this song, but by Danny Saucedo. And I'm feeling like that's something we missed out on as like a world. And I
Yeah.
want that now.
Yes. Do you realize that song, if Danny had, then honestly, I'm gonna be real, sitting in this chair, I might have been talking about a Swedish doing doubles.
Yeah, like
I think other countries would have had the edge, but I would have been like, if it was Danny fronting this song, keep every single thing the same, I think I would be different. But again, my bias, the vocal tone for me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, if giving y'all the background, you see where I'm coming from. You don't have to agree, but it's just even as a kid, Nick Carter was not sonically. It wasn't hitting my ears in the way that I needed it to be. Same thing with Justin Timberlake. Again, JC Chazé and AJ McLean.
Mm-hmm.
AJ McLean and Kevin. I liked Kevin's voice when Kevin would come out on the verse. Now that I see that we're falling apart from the way that it used to be. Yeah. And then AJ, no matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are. So, and then Howie comes in, my fire, the one desire, you are, okay, you are, AJ, you are, okay, I'm sorry, okay, don't wanna hear you.
Well, that was a song produced by a Swede, wasn't it?
It was, come on.
Max Martin song?
Yes, that was Max Martin. Yes. I'm telling you, y'all thinking I'm just going off. It makes sense.
No,
You know what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
connections make sense. So y'all feel me. I'm not coming for the boys. I think that they are very talented. They were hitting the notes, but the tone. That's all.
It comes
All
down to
right.
taste.
Okay, so my last two like podcast episodes really were on the semifinals. So I want to just tell you some of the responses I got, and I'll see quick things that you think. So for semifinal one, I asked, what country from semifinal one do you love that you think won't make it to the final? Let me tell you some of these results. Okay, I had Coretta Maxim said Slovenia. Alberto said maybe us Portugal due to the, just the semi being strong, but faithful people will vote for us. This was before we had some of the songs confirmed. Marco said Portugal. I had Lachi and Atta. Lachi said Ireland. Atta said Iceland. Jonas said Poland. And then I had a lobster. A lobster emoji. Say, Ireland's song is so good, but I'm stressed it won't. It definitely won't be forgettable, but I think there will be too many people that don't immediately click with it. It could take a few listens. Emil said Luxembourg because I think it's a bop and I'd like it in the final. Rewood says would be Luxembourg. Cute song, but live felt a bit off energy. Neither a relatively sassy nor boppy moment. Could be argued that makeup and clothes did all of that, and maybe there's room for changes. Stan said Luxembourg. Yeah. And then Adam said controversial and maybe low-key delusional, but I'm scared for Lithuania. Vulcan said Luxembourg. And then Aksidi said Azerbaijan, but isn't Azerbaijan in... Oh, no. Azerbaijan is in the first semifinal.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard that song, so...
I don't think the song's even out yet.
Yeah, but he's saying that he might have heard through a leak the song and said it could elevate with dancers, but Azerbaijan doesn't do well with the televote, so it's probably out. Mm-hmm. And then Adam said Cyprus, and then SS Bud said, I'm scared for Cyprus. What do you think of that list? Who do you like? Is there a country that you love that you're afraid will lose? I think I got one.
I mean, the only one I'm afraid I'm gonna lose that I like, the ones I'm afraid I'm gonna lose that I'm loving are Ireland and Portugal.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm in the same boat. Yeah, that's where
But there's ones on that list I'm like, yeah, that's gonna struggle to get through.
Yeah. I mean, it's just... I think with people saying because some people are like, oh, well, I don't think the semi is as strong. It's not as strong as it could have been, but I think it's still a strong semi. And to me, the way I judge a strong semi is, am I going to lose really good songs that I feel confident would do well at the final? And to me, Portugal is a song that I'm like, I think it would do really well at the final.
Yeah.
Like, I really do. Like, I think Portugal could do well at the final. I also think even with Ireland, I think Ireland could get casuals at the final televote-wise. I mean, I really want to see the staging because I actually think Ireland has been giving the dollars and all they needed was, like, real vision, and Bambi has vision.
Yeah.
And so I'm living in a world, and especially now, this whole thing of people being able to vote at the beginning of the show, is that only in the final, or is that going to be happening in the semis too?
I'd have to look at the article again. I haven't really had
okay. Because the thing is, if you can do it in the semis, then I think we can flip sort of that fact of more songs qualify from the second half than they do the first.
Well, at least I know what the rest of the world vote. That's opening 24 hours before the show.
Right.
So, I mean, that's only so many points, really.
That's not a lot. And we
but,
didn't make our difference last year with Malta and
Latvia.
And Latvia. I was going hard.
We had taste, okay? Like, we had these guys in the final.
We were going hard, but,
And I mean, I can see Ireland doing decent with the rest of the world just because you can kind of get a lot of momentum off of that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, for me, I think it's Ireland and Portugal. I look at like they're the ones that have me nervous.
Yeah. So I'm wondering about so we're doing let me read out to you second semifinal. I got a comment saying, so this one is, who do you think will shock non-qualify from the second semifinal? First comment, Belgium. Marco says Albania in a semi with a lot of friends. Starjan says Norway. Lorenzo says Greece. Johnny says Switzerland. And Yash says Denmark or maybe Estonia. What are your thoughts and feelings on that?
For shock non-qualification, well, if Denmark doesn't qualify, is that ever really a shock?
That's what I was like, if Denmark
like,
doesn't make it, I wouldn't find it shocking at all.
It's Denmark.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like thinking of that list.
Well, they said Estonia. Here's the thing. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Estonia didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think it's gonna make it though.
Yeah. I think
it's gonna make it.
It's quirky. It has like folk elements to it. It has like a lot happening that Televote enjoys. Even like and like I know when it comes to the semis, it's more fan voting, but like I just feel like Estonia has such good favor in the fan community, and also within like just what it's being, what the overall package is.
Yeah.
Is something that televoters who aren't necessarily, fans would like and would want to support.
Yeah.
What was also like Belgium? I could see Belgium not qualifying.
To me, Belgium would be the shock non-qualifier because of the song and the momentum that it has for the song. And I do think vocally it'll be executed well. I'm just nervous about the staging.
Yeah.
And we know Belgium has choked it on the staging before. And that's the only thing that has given me any form of pause with the entry is just, will the staging work, be palpable? Like I am nervous. That is my only like fear.
Yeah. Staging, and also like nothing happens until you get to like the last minute.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know if there's enough there without decent staging.
Like I appreciate
attention.
Well, that's the thing, because I do think the song, like before it's rousing, but yeah, you'd have to really hook people from the first. Well, I mean, even Krister says that all the time. You really got to hook people in the first 5 seconds. What are you doing in the first 5 seconds to get folks? And a lot of that is both sonic and visual thoughtful pairing. So I don't know.
Yeah, because like if it's not grabbing people, I mean, I'm more gracious. I say you've got 30 seconds with me personally, and if within 30 seconds I'm like, this isn't going anywhere, I'm ready to go use the bathroom. I'm ready to go grab a snack. I'm not ready to sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other comments was Switzerland, and I'm like, nah, I think Switzerland's making it.
Yeah, I don't see. Switzerland made it the last 2 years, and last year was Televa only, and they somehow came through with that. I'm just gonna say that. Yeah,
and then what would I say? Albania, I think honestly, after listening to this revamp, I think it's done. I don't. Yeah. I think it's done. I don't know what happened with that production, and I think even with beautiful staging. I mean, if you're saying Armenia is strong, and I was like, I think it'll be Albania going up against Armenia. I mean, I think Georgia has a higher chance of qualifying than Albania, because what I heard from Georgia definitely is trumping this Albania revamp. I'm sorry, and I wanted to be here for Albania this year, but that revamp is not okay.
Is it a revamp?
It's a revamp. The production on it.
New song.
No, it's still like the same melody. It's a different narrative, different story, but the production is not good. It is not good. I really was like, is it too late? Like, I would just be like, go back, ask the EBU if you can just look, we won't change anything. We're just going to use the original one we submitted. Cause baby, I wanted it for Albania, but like, I mean, at this point, I think Denmark has a better chance of qualifying than Albania at this point.
No, I couldn't agree more with that, because like I went through and I listened to when I listened to the Albanian revamp, I was like, what is this? Like, I
All of my
legitimately thought it was
tears
a whole
gonna
different song.
ricochet. Rise. I'm a titan in disguise. And then it's like a pop banger, like at the end. Oh my Lord. It's not working. It's not working. Okay.
I don't know how you know the lyrics already, because I just did not absorb any of them.
Yeah, I'm a titan in disguise. And then it's it's like this like high BPM on the way out. I was like, whoa. Okay. Well, Lilli, thank you so much for having a conversation with me and coming by the Eurovision for Real podcast.
Well, thank you for having me on. And don't forget, guys, EurovisionFam.com. It's a great website. You should all definitely go there.
Yeah, it's not for news. It's for think pieces. We're getting conversations started at EurovisionFam.com. So yes, It's not just another Eurovision news site. That should be the tag. Not just another Eurovision news site. Conversations and community. All right. Thank you so much, Lilli.
Oh.